The Lord be with you. Let's try something a little different today. I want each of you to think of a number between 1 and 9. Get it firmly planted in your head, a number between 1 and 9. Now multiply that number by 9. Add the digits of your answer together. For example, if your number is 35, 3 plus 5 equals 8. If your number was 47, 4 plus 7 equals 11. Now subtract 5. Now with 1 equaling A, 2 equaling B, 3 equaling C, 4 equaling D, 5 equaling E, and so on, what letter is represented by the number you have now? Now think of a country beginning with that letter. Now I'll think of a mammal beginning with the last letter of that country. Now think of a fruit beginning with the last letter of that animal. Okay, just in case you got lost, I'll go through that all again a little faster. I want each of you to think of a number between 1 and 9. Get it firmly planted in your head. Now multiply that number by 9. Add the digits of your answer together. If you came up with 35, 3 plus 5 equals 8. That's your next number. If your number was 47, 4 plus 7 is 11. From that number, subtract 5. Now, with 1 being A, 2 B, 3 being C, 4 being D, 5 being E, and so on, what letter is represented by the number you have now? Now think of a country beginning with that letter. Next, think of a mammal beginning with the last letter of that country. Now think of a fruit beginning with the last letter of that animal. So you all started out with different numbers, and now you're thinking of a country, an animal, and a fruit. Let me see if I can read someone's mind out there. This doesn't make much sense. There aren't many kangaroos living in Denmark who eat oranges, are there? Just for your information, only 2% will come up with different answers. Some of you may have a koala in Denmark who likes apples. An even smaller number will have picked up one of the 2 other D countries like Dominican Republic or Djibouti, starts with a DJ. That's one of the things I have always liked, that sense of surprise, that how did he do that feeling. I have even more numbers for you, but this time they are Bible numbers. And not only are they even more interesting, but they are also even more amazing because there is not a trick at all to them. What is the shortest chapter in the Bible? Psalms 117. What is the longest chapter in the Bible? Psalm 119. Which chapter is in the center of the Bible? Psalm 118. It's a fact. There are 594 chapters before Psalm 118. There are 594 chapters after Psalm 118. Add these numbers up, 594 and 594, and you get 1,188. What is the center verse in the Bible? Psalms 118:8. Does this verse say anything significant about God's perfect will for our lives? The next time someone says they would like to find God's perfect will for their lives, and that they want to be in the center of His will, just send them to the center of His Word. Because Psalm 118 verse 8 says, It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to put your confidence in humans. Now, isn't that odd how this worked out? Or do you think maybe God was in the center of it? In the late 1800s, a member of Britain's Parliament went to Scotland to make a speech. He got off the train in Edinburgh and then took a carriage south to make a speech. He got off the train in Edinburgh and then took a carriage south toward his destination. Unfortunately, the carriage became stuck in deep mud. A local farm boy came to the rescue with his team of workhorses. In his gratitude, the politician offered a reward, but the boy refused, saying he wanted nothing. "Well," persisted the legislator, "is there anything I can do for you? What would you like to do with yourself when you grow up?" "I'd like to become a doctor," the young man replied. The member of Parliament promised to do what he could and, in fact, secured admission to the university for the young man. During World War II, more than 50 years later, Winston Churchill lay dangerously ill in Morocco, suffering from pneumonia. A new wonder drug was administered to him, something called penicillin, which had been discovered by Sir Alexander Fleming, the Scottish farm boy of so long before. And the politician who sponsored him to the university? He was Randolph Churchill, the father of Winston Churchill. Now, isn't that odd how that worked out? Or do you think God may have been in the center of it? We shake our heads in amazement at the fantastic coincidences that we see in the world. How many coincidences, however, are actually God working the divine plan right before our eyes? Remember Joseph? Joseph thought he was destined to spend his life as a slave. God had other plans. Remember Pharisee Saul? Saul thought he would rise to the position of president of Pharisees. God had other plans. And now I have finished preparing this devotion just in time to finish something else that must be done in 10 minutes. What a coincidence! Or is it? Amen.